I think for me with music, and I don't know how many artists look at music like this, but I know for me, I look at music as a journey, and I'm constantly exploring. So I think that's where the growth comes from. So I've always been a producer and artist. I mean, from my very first album, and but there was times even in my first albums that I had great ideas, but I didn't have the musical knowledge to execute them as well. So I'm constantly refining my musical knowledge and being exposed to different things and taking that and adding that to my art. And I feel like that's why you hear the progression. And that's why I wanted to go from pro to Derek Minor, because I felt like pro, I felt like it was almost like a practice run. Like it was like, okay, this is cool. Now, boom, this is Derek Minor. This is my brand. Because I felt like with pro, like people kind of had got me as the hype youth group guy. Like that's kind of like I'm that rapper, and there was so much more depth to my artistry that I wanted people to know about. So that's why I kind of rebranded. So that's why Minorville was such a hard turn from Dying to Live. It was just so more musical, so more soulful, so more laid back, so much more like heart intentional. And that was why, because I wanted people to feel the soul and feel the musicality of what I'm doing. And I kind of just got to the point where I'm just like, man, I just want to be me as an artist. Like, if I want to do a CCM record, I do it. If I want to do a trap turn up record, I do it. Or if I want to just do something really, really eclectic, I'll do it. So I think just as a whole, from the artist perspective, or from the craft perspective, Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So I think you have to put the time in. I've definitely done 10,000 hours. I don't feel like I'm even mastered what I've done yet. So you have to look at music as a journey. Like, you can't be lazy. You can't just sit at the house and feel like you're gonna get better. And then two, natural gifting will only take you so far. Eventually, you have to learn to reinvent yourself over and over and over again, which is what I try to do often. So I would say that. I would say, as far as if we're talking about artists, like for the sale of commercial music, it's about consistency, like making sure that you're consistently, putting out music and building a fan base. And I think a lot of people, like, we all want to see get signed to a major label and blow up thing. But I mean, how many people have you seen get signed to a major label? The album looks like it's really popular, and then it falls off. I think the reason why you see that is because those majors dump so much money into those artists. If they don't recoup, even though it seems like they blew up, but if they don't make the money back, then the major labels move on. So the artists that last are the ones that have a real fan base. If you have a real fan base, it doesn't matter what major signs you or what major doesn't sign you. Like for me, if a label messes with me or not, it doesn't matter. I got real fans. So I think that's something that every artist should think about. And then also, making money in music is very simple. It's just, if you want to have a career in music, just spend less money than you make. That's really kind of like how it is. I don't try to compete with Drake. Drake's budget, his video budget, is probably more than 2 album budgets for me. So it doesn't make much sense to compete with him. But what it does make sense is for me to put out the best music I can to my fan base and continue to grow my fan base. And then one day it may explode through the ceiling. But if it doesn't, I'm still able to feed my family, and I still have a voice, and it matters. And I think that's the last thing that I would say is you matter. So that's whether you make it out of your local community, or whether you just stay in your local community and you're a local hometown hero, or you become an international, universal success. Like, your voice matters. Some of the most influential artists in my life you probably never heard of. So that's kind of what it is for me. I've those artists are the ones that kind of have built something into me that I'm like, dang, I want to be like that. Like, I want my music to feel like that, I mean, yeah, to be real, I probably got 20 songs in the can. Like, that's like either almost done or done. So for me, it's just probably finishing those records up and seeing what the strategy is for it. I think now that music is so scattered all over the place, like there's really no right way to do music. I actually enjoy the atmosphere because with my taste being so eclectic, you know, if I wanted to, I could do a freaking jazz album and no one would trip because it's just music is so eclectic right now. Like everybody, like it's like there's this homogenous thing that's like mainstream music, but then for being like an indie, like no one really cares. They just want good music, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. Just like, man, I'm just gonna give people great stuff, and it's probably not gonna have any rhyme or reason to the tone or texture, but it's gonna be what I like.